Just before we start, let me do a little introduction. So, Professor Peter Ejekumboaten is from Valley View University. He has a PhD in strategic management.
Mhm.
Um, Before coming to AU, he was acting vice chancellor and then also pro VC. But currently, he is doing his sabbatical. Prof, what university?
It's called ESU, École Supérieure Université. That's in the Republic of Benin.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
And I've seen Betty Guy is also joining us.
Okay, hi.
Hi, Betty. Hello, Betty. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
She's muted.
If you can unmute yourself, can you unmute?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. Good evening.
Good evening.
So we were just doing an introduction before we start.
Okay, perfect.
So Betty, if you can introduce yourself to us and
Sure. So I'm Betty Guy, not Betty Guy, because I was in the US for almost 20 years and everybody used to call me Betty Guy. But it's because I'm a French island, Martinique, in the Eastern Caribbean Sea, next to St. Lucia and Barbados. And so I'm a graduate of Andrews University. I had the wonderful opportunity to come to Andrews in 1997, August 97. So I spent 2 years studying for my master's and graduated with a master's in communications and business in 1999. And then found a job at Lakeland Health, not too far from where you are. And I stayed there for 18 years until 2017. And I had a burnout, a pretty severe burnout because of health issues. And then I went back home to recover and then decided to stay back home. And that's where I've been since 2017. And I have my own business, an education tech business that I'm running since 2022.
thank you. Amon, if you can just before our guests start to come.
Hi, my name is Arm Pavletti. I'm faculty of information systems. A little bit of background about me is I still work as a consultant for various Fortune 500 companies, normally in the tech sphere. I started off my career again, Andrews alumni. Started off my career working for Activision, working with a game called Call of Duty as a developer, working with water physics. So a lot of people don't know that water is a very integral part of many different games, but there's a lot of physics involved in it. So it came back to Andrews around 2005 and have been there since. And some of the industry they don't want to let me go, so I still consult for a huge number of different companies today.
Can you introduce yourself to us?
Were you talking to me?
I wanted Professor Peter Ejekumboaten to introduce himself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, yeah, I thought you did that
No.
already. I think that was okay. I have been working here at Valley View University since 2006. Started as a lecturer and have gone up to the rank of an associate professor. And I have been in the area of business administration, specifically strategic management. And what else? I've been teaching since 2006. Currently, as you said earlier on, I am on a sabbatical leave. I started last year, hoping to end this year. And then I go back to Valley View. So that's what I have been doing, basically, most of the times in the classroom teaching.
Troy?
Okay, hello, I'm Carmelita Troy, and I am an associate professor of accounting. I have been teaching since 1982, so I have seen lots and lots of changes in the accounting profession over that time. As a matter of fact, when I was studying in college, we were still doing things with pencils and ledger paper. But of course, nowadays that has long gone by the wayside. And so what I'm hoping to share with you a little bit today is how we are seeing changes in the profession of accounting and the teaching of accounting due to generative AI. And I teach here at Andrews, yes.
Thank you very much. My name is William Supra. I'm the host of the program, and I'm also going to share my experience in the field of finance, how AI has impacted our way of doing things. I started my career in industry, spent almost 15 years from finance to manufacturing, and then coming to academia. I joined Valley View University as a lecturer and also administrator, and now I'm teaching at Andrews University. Just for record purposes, this program is being recorded. When we finish, it's going to be on YouTube for those who could not join us to also have a way to listen to our discussion. And before we start, I want us to pray. Heavenly Father, we pray that you be with us, especially after we talk about how AI is impacting our lives. We pray that you come and be with us in this discussion. Be with our panelists also as they share their experience with us in Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. So, Amon will start with us based on your background, your experience in IT industry as an information system analyst, and also someone involved in industry. So what has been, from your perspective, if you can share your experience with us, do you think AI is going to replace the jobs we do, or is going to enhance what we do? What should we be afraid of, and what should we not be afraid of?
You know, as humans, we're always afraid of anything new, right? Just like any tool, any modern tool today, or even any other tool that's been invented over time, will make jobs easier. Therefore, certain element of the job or create some sort of displacement within the job force. We've seen that over and over again. We've seen it with the precursor to AI was business intelligence that made a hit a few years back, and almost everybody was deploying that layer of technology to massive amounts of data to be able to monitor live data. And we saw huge layers of layoffs at that moment in time. Are we going to see that exact same amount of layers of layoff because of generative AI that's coming up right now? Possibly. The signs are very similar to business AI, especially within the middle management and upper management sectors of the industry. Any form of repetitive type of jobs in analytics, especially now we are in the stage where we're pairing business intelligence and plugging it in with AI, creating, this analytical tool that I have not seen in my entire, span of more than almost 2 decades of working in an industry, whereby I can get both descriptive, predictive, and analytical reports on the fly, bypassing an analyst. And based upon volumes and volumes and volumes of data over a particular period of time, and it's literally in a snap of a finger. Back in the day, I would have multiple different contractors working as a data analyst to analyze, statisticians analyze certain volumes of data, and I'm pulling all that data together or create some sort of a predictive pattern for to create some sort of recommendation. Today, I bypass all that. It's literally I plug in the data to whatever analytical tool I'm using, and data is derived from whatever area we're data mining from, and plug directly to some AI tool for a predictive as well as a descriptive, whether it be problems or looking at a predictive solution. Will we see mass layoffs or mass job displacements? Probably not. Especially in the younger generation, probably not. I would be more scared within my generation rather than the younger generation. Aside from that, yeah, I think AI has its place right now. It's a more improved hammer to fix the problem and a faster hammer to fix the problem. But you still need an operator to operate it. You need designers to design it. You need people to understand what it's outputting, and you remember, AI is a tool. Garbage in is going to be garbage out. So the better design, the best designers for putting input into AI will get the best possible result with the more refined way of developing that key layer of strategy and pinpointing the problem or pinpointing a possible solution. And again, this is across of all business sectors I'm looking at. I'm looking from HR all the way to finances. So it's across. It's a fast moving right now, and I don't think we want to stand in front of the flame rather than we want to be behind it and let the flame move forward. And like I said, it's very difficult to stop it right now, unfortunately.
I just want to do a follow-up question. You mentioned that there's a generation that needs to learn, and you are citing your generation. Is it an opportunity for educational institutions to restructure our mode of teaching and also enrollment target to get the older generation to come back to school to learn how to use the tools?
Um, my experience teaching the older generation when I was a little younger as a younger professor was a little harder, especially when it comes to technology. I'm not saying that the old dogs can't learn new tricks, but it's a little more different because AI and understanding what to put into AI, it's a process of building from the basic modern technology. A good example is that you have to do groups of people in our technology, right? You have the digital natives and you have the digital immigrants. I come from the digital immigrant. Basically, I started off my technology using a typewriter, right? The kids today, they literally have no idea what a typewriter is. They start off with keyboards, right? And they type much faster on a freaking mobile than I would type on my own laptop. So being there's a disadvantage of becoming or learning these new techniques without certain basic level of skill, because remember, when you're pulling in or using AI, you have to your knowledge of breadth of the entire business sector, from marketing all the way to finance, has to be very, very broad. That's how AI generates it's based on whatever learning model it's picking it up from, and it's able to assimilate and grab all this information and come up with some sort of viable data. And without you knowing how to, let's say, learning new what's in or what's not in, could be very disheartening to a little bit more older generation. In terms of technical, I think it's still possible for us to do that, but there's a lot what I'm seeing now is a lot more targeted towards a lot easier for younger generation to actually pick up in terms of creating very unique queries, creative queries based on whatever they're looking for or getting out of AI. Whether it be a generative AI or even in engineering, we use Fusion 360 that does DNA type of generative AI, meaning that we can have a part, and every time we create a brand new um, component to that, it will automatically update itself to that. The part will automatically update itself to whatever brand new component we're developing. So it makes manufacturing a whole lot faster. It speeds up the manufacturing process greatly. Now, some older professors or older my age who are used to drafting in CAD will not be able to understand. They'll be able to. Yes, it's digital. Yes, CAD is digital, but we're without using it's a different beast altogether.
Thank you very much. So from what you're saying, the fire is burning. We shouldn't be standing in front of it.
Nope.
We should we should let it, no matter our generation. So, Professor Troy, you have the right to share a PowerPoint with us. And also from the accounting perspective, how do you see AI transforming the accounting field? Is it leading to job displacement or improvement?
Well, I'll save my PowerPoint perhaps for a little bit later at the end, but I kind of want to describe a little bit about how the profession is changing, where we're seeing the biggest impact of AI and generative AI is in the field of auditing. And more broadly, it's eliminating repetitive tasks. So years and years ago in the accounting profession, you had the bookkeepers or the accountants whose job was to create and post journal entries. This has pretty much been automated through the changing of technology. And we expect that as we move more into AI and generative AI being more widely used within the profession, that there is going to be an automation of these very repetitive tasks. What that means is that the people who do those tasks may find themselves displaced, but it doesn't have to be. It all is going to depend upon us upgrading our skills so that we are adding value elsewhere in the chain of value-added activities. So, for example, an advantage of working with AI and generative AI is that it's really good at detecting discrepancies. You tell it to do something, it will do it over and over and over again. Humans will be able to do it over again, but we don't consistently make the same mistakes. So there is that issue of having data or having output that can be more accurate for this repetitive type of outwork. It also can help us with real-time ratios. So traditionally, when we have done financial ratios, we've been looking at data that may be at the end of the month or the quarter, or some cases even at the end of the year. With AI, all of this process has become so much faster that we can get real-time ratios, and we can think of an advantage of this. If you have loan covenants that limit, you cannot have ratios in this area that are higher, or your debt to equity ratio has to remain at a certain level, it's much more easier to be able to monitor that and make whatever needed changes earlier. But within the accounting, particularly the auditing profession, what we're seeing is the use of generative AI primarily used in first drafts. So there's a lot of reports that are written. We can use generative AI to prepare the first draft. It's not going to be the final draft because there's a few things we need to keep in mind. Number one, AI or generative AI is amoral. It doesn't have a bent toward being good or optimistic or correct. It really is, it's going to go through the data that it has and put something out there. And we have to be extremely careful with this. My first exposure to AI, a colleague, a co-author of mine, we've been working on some research together, and he said, Carmelita, just take the sections of the paper, and you can actually ask ChatGPT to create the references. But there was one reference that one of my co-authors had cited in the paper, but had not actually given the reference. So I did what he said, took the chunk out, put it in there, and there were 4 references in that paragraph. 3 of the references, it absolutely correctly put into the 3 of the citations it put into the reference. The 4th one that I hadn't been able to find, it came up with a nice reference from the Journal of, Accounting Research. Author gave it a title and everything. And I thought, oh my goodness, how was this saving me time and effort? So I put the whole paper in there. And sure enough, every missing reference it filled in. But, there's something in the back of my mind was saying, double check these things. And sure enough, what did it do? You asked for a reference, it gave a reference. If it couldn't find one, it made up one. And that's exactly what happened. So the point I'm trying to say here is that even when we are using in the work environment to prepare drafts, we have to then use the human capital, which is the part that has the ethical and moral judgments, that in order to be able to verify the data, make sure that it is correct. And also, part of this as well is making sure that it is, we are not violating any privacy issues as well with the results that come out from it. So, ethical considerations when we're using generative AI, of course, is to protect sensitive financial information. Now, ChatGPT and others, they are just going out there and gathering the data that's already out there publicly. But as you can imagine, for public accounting firms that are doing audits, part of their concern is they have got confidential financial information on their clients. And we want to make sure that this is this confidentiality is being maintained. So those companies are not using ChatGPT or any of those. They are developing their own generative AI software and programs that they can use, of course, along with all of the security and other aspects of accuracy, as well as the privacy of the data. And the big audit firms here in the United States have been spending millions, billions of dollars in developing these generative AI programs so that they can use. And not only is it helping with the audit part, but of course, on the flip side here, where they're doing consulting as well, that they're using their own products in order to do that. So I would just like to remind everyone that regardless of how AI progresses, at least as it is currently and as for the foreseeable future, we still will need human input. All right. And it's that human input that is going to be adding value. Now, that human input actually affects my teaching, because I need to train my students not only to be able to use generative AI tools, but also to be able to be critical of the outputs, to also use these tools to help my students to be able to think more critically as well. So this generative AI, while it's a wonderful tool, it has its drawbacks, but it also there's great opportunities that I see coming from an academic point of view. Yes, I would say it's going to have an impact, especially on certain jobs. But on the other hand, it opens up opportunities for other jobs.
Thank you very much. Just to sum up your points, you dwelt on the moral aspect of AI, and you also mentioned that critical evaluation of the output must be scrutinized by students and also professors. You've let
And
us know
by
that.
anybody who's using it. You can't just come out, put your prompt in, it comes with the output and you take it. No, that will not, that's a sure sign or a sure method or recipe for disaster.
Thank you very much. So let's listen to Betty. Betty is an entrepreneur, a coach, also in the AI industry. So we want for you to share with us your experience and your perspective on AI role in job creation versus obsolescence.
Perfect. Can I share a
Yes, please.
PowerPoint?
Yes, please.
I've prepared some information here. Are you able to see this? I'll go right here. Are you able to see this?
It's coming. They say Betty is coming. Let's wait. If you can go off and try. Okay, we have it. We have it now.
Okay, you have it. Okay, so I introduced myself at the beginning, but just for the benefit of those who came in afterwards, I am from the beautiful island of Martinique, and I will try to be humble and not say it's the most beautiful island in the Caribbean, because those from the Bahamas and Jamaica will certainly have my head. It's one of the beautiful islands in the Caribbean, and that's where I was born, in Martinique. And after I completed high school, I spent a year at the university here back home, but I didn't like it. And the idea came to go to Jamaica and learn music. It was one of my other capabilities. So I went to Jamaica and completed a BA in music. And I taught there also for 3 years. And afterwards, I realized I wasn't good enough in music. So let's try something else. And why not go to the United States of America? And that's why I went and landed at Andrews, where I prepared a master's degree in communications and business. And then I found a job miraculously at Lakeland Health, and I started as a strategic planning analyst and rose through the ranks and finished as a chief strategy officer. I worked with the illustrious Dr. Hamill, who's on your board, I think. And it was wonderful to have that experience. So I have been I lived and studied and worked in 3 different countries. And so I bring a little different perspective, because the United States is one of those advanced economies, and Martinique and Jamaica, we could put between emerging economies, but more so towards low-income countries. So different perspective that will definitely impact AI and how AI will be impacting jobs in the future in those different countries. So, and then I forgot to mention that after I had a burnout, I went back to Martinique, and this is where I am since 2017, and started my company in 22 as a tech entrepreneur for the past 2 years. And obviously we've been impacted. AI has impacted our work here, but the framework I will use this afternoon briefly are the 6 honest serving men from Rudyard Kipling: who, where, why, when, what, and how. And we'll try to distill some thoughts using that framework. So I will start with ChatGPT. Was released in November 22, and it took the world by storm. Even here, we were surprised to hear about ChatGPT. Nobody knew about it, and we were pretty excited when we started to experiment with it. But pretty soon we realized, wow, there are probably 2 attitudes that developed with regard to ChatGPT and AI here, and probably in the rest of the world also. People just maybe forgot about it and say, oh, this will not impact me. I'll just bury my hand in the sand and be like the proverbial ostrich. Or maybe people started worrying when they realized that it will really impact their jobs, and they might not find a job if they're just coming out of school, or they may lose their jobs if they are in a job right now. So those were, I think, the two reactions regarding ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. And there is really cause for concern. I think we should not, I say, I'm looking for the right words, we should not underestimate the impact that will have. The IMF came out with survey results of a survey, a study, and at the beginning of the year, saying that 60% of the jobs in the advanced economies, the US, France, and other European countries, 60% of the jobs will be impacted. 40% in the emerging markets. Emerging markets are Brazil and other countries like that. 40% of the jobs will be impacted, and 26% of the jobs in low-income countries will be impacted. And really, what shocked everybody was that this sentence that really caused everybody to panic, or even panic even further, was that AI can now augment or replace high-skilled roles previously thought immune to automation. Because the general idea before, when we had shift in industry and technology, was that it was really the lower skilled workers who were impacted. But now with AI, we're seeing that it will be the high skilled roles in auditing, in accounting, in finance, in design, in coding. Those high level jobs will also be impacted and largely impacted. So some of the companies that have already been reacted to AI, as you will see on the table on the left and on the right. So left are the companies that have already fired people because of AI. Salesforce in the United States, Duolingo, even an AI company called Turnitin, AI detection platform, has already reduced count by 20%. Dukan is an e-commerce company in India that's fired 90% of its customer support staff. MSN, in Google, everywhere people are reacting to AI by reducing headcounts. And further, on the right, you see IBM will be replacing 30% of back office roles within 5 years, and British Telecommunication will be cutting 55,000 jobs. So the jobs will disappear. That's reality. We should not hide that, because that helps us also in the way we prepare ourselves and prepare the younger generations. And why is that so? It's because let's admit it, AI can do things faster and better than we can in most cases. I think, like there has been mentioned, we see real great productivity gain with AI. And when you have gain in productivity, you have more profits, higher revenues, and lower costs. And so companies will try to benefit from that to the most. And real nice things about AI is why it has such a huge impact is that it's allowing more people to do things and to produce things that were reserved to experts. You're talking about, if you didn't know about business intelligence, if you didn't know how to use Excel and make VBA formulas and all of that, well, you couldn't go too much further in analyzing your data. But right now with ChatGPT, you could do that in Copilot. Microsoft Copilot allows you to do that very easily. And if you ever wanted to produce movies or documentaries, now it's easy to do, and it's going to be even easier with the new tool that's called SOA that will allow you to produce films just by prompting. And another example for the coders right now, there is, I think, AI. There's a new AI that came out that's called Devon that allows people to code, that can code faster than the best engineer out there. So that's why we're seeing huge impact on jobs. But we should not forget, so I don't want people to be distressed and panic, because what we've seen throughout ages and with all of the inventions, the agricultural renovation and the industrial innovation is that the new technology, whatever it happens to be, typically brings new jobs for those with the smarts and the skills. So I repeat, the smarts and the skills, and really it's going to be up to us to upskill and reskill in order to take advantage of AI. I apologize for this red line that came up, but I will skip this slide to go faster. And I don't know why this red line came up. But let's try to. So on the left hand side, I wanted to talk about the jobs that will be eliminated. And so you can see the list. I will not read it. And I think all of this, two things. So will it really happen? Maybe we'll have less teachers. Maybe we'll have less market research analysts. But those are what the experts are predicting, the jobs that will be eliminated. And on the right will be the jobs that will be created. And they are saying that 85 million jobs by 2025 will be replaced by AI, but will create another 97 million new roles. So all in all, I think we have reasons to be optimistic. And what we'll see that people will adjust. People will find new skills. People will develop new products, new services. Governments and other social organizations will step up and teach people how to do things with AI. So there are really nice jobs that will be created. And I want to point out chief AI officers. That's something that's really happening right now. The federal government about 2 weeks ago decided that by June, they will be hiring about 100. All of the federal offices, departments in the US will have a chief AI officer. So that's already great news right there. But also we can think that other businesses, the big businesses in the US will also follow suit and have AI officers who will coordinate the implementation and development of AI tools in their respective organizations. So there are really good news there. And just my final 2 slides here about the challenges that are facing businesses when it comes to AI and the opportunities for the students right now. So if you know the challenges that the businesses are going to be faced with, maybe you could prepare yourself to help them deal with those challenges. So there will be a lack of skilled individuals, and there will be hiring shortages. So maybe if you know about AI, you could prepare yourself to be one of the people that businesses will want to recruit to help them. We want people who can definitely help businesses to see what the return on investment will be. Dealing with the complexity of AI system, putting governance system in place, and helping to train the current workforce so that people are not stuck in place because they don't know what to do and what to learn to be able to deal with AI. And so the advice I have for young people is that, and I like this sentence, that you will not be replaced by AI itself, the AI tool itself, because AI still needs you, but will be replaced by someone who knows how to use AI better than you. As an entrepreneur, I know if I were going to recruit somebody today, I would be looking for someone who knows how to use the tools in my area, in my field. I will not be looking for any resume where no one knows how to use ChatGPT or InVideo or Canva or all of those things. So it's very important to master AI. So the first thing is to master your area of expertise. If you're an accountant, you will have a better chance if you are the best accountant, one of the best accountants on the planet. So always master your area of expertise, physics, business, whatever it is. Master that, and then master 3 to 5 AI tools in your area of expertise. So there are, I think, more than 15,000 AI tools in the world right now, and in every field there are 3 or 5 that people should learn how to use and be experts. And then we'll still need basic critical thinking skills, basic skills apart from AI and your area's expertise. You should be able to think critically. You should be creative, problem solver, know how to have good relations with people and how to talk to people and how to negotiate. And so I hope that this little presentation has helped people not to feel panicked or anxious about AI. Neither should you keep on putting your hands in the sand and not thinking about AI and not wanting to hear anything, but just extend your hand toward AI and make it your assistant, make it your partner in training yourself right now if you're in school, or in creating things if you're already in the workplace. Use it to help you do better things and greater things. So thank you for the time. I know I went a little bit over, but
Thank you very much for sharing with us. Two things that I picked, very important. AI requires smart people and skilled people.
absolutely.
So we should not fear. We should just make sure we learn how to be smarter and then also have the skills. Let me ask Professor Peter from management strategic perspective. How do you view AI impacting on management, job market, and also decision-making processes?
Thank you very much. I believe you hear me.
Yes, please, Prof.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to you all, especially to our listeners. The big question for today is AI stealing our jobs, or is it making them better? As the moderator mentioned, I'm going to talk about the impact of AI on the management job market and decision-making processes. Let me ask you, imagine you live in a time where machines, not people, are the ones driving the cars of our companies through our busy streets and making deliveries. Imagine going to work one day and finding out that the person welcoming you is your new boss, a robot. What would you do? The question is, what's the future of management, of the management job market? And how do we ensure we have something doing in the face of AI? As we all can tell, AI is making waves at the job market, especially in management. And we need to understand that it's not just about robots taking over. It's also about making jobs easier and creating new opportunities for all of us. One of the most significant impacts of AI in management is its ability to take over routine administrative tasks that do not require much human judgment. And this allows the worker some space for other activities. Some of these routine tasks can be scheduling meetings, generating reports, analyzing large data sets, and even answering basic customer questions. For example, in schedule optimization, AI automates meeting scheduling by communicating with participants to find suitable meeting time through emails with no human interference. And research has indicated that this automation has led to a 30 to 50% reduction in the time managers spend on administrative tasks. Also, AI plays a crucial role in decision-making. For example, in data analysis for decision-making, we use AI to sort through vast amounts of business data with no human interference. And this helps individuals to gain deeper insights for accurate and informed decisions. It enables data-driven decision-making without the need for deep technical knowledge in data analysis. So you don't need to be an expert. Once you are able to move along with AI, you are good to go. And research shows a 25% improvement in decision-making accuracy in companies that utilize AI for analytics. With this said, I will ask the question again. Will AI take over our jobs, leaving many of us without employment, or will it act as a stimulus to enhance job roles and create new opportunities? Is it taking jobs away from us or bringing us more? I want us to look at the dual viewpoints on the impact of AI on the management job market. The first viewpoint holds that AI is a job displacer. A report from the World Economic Forum has just been given. I have one here, a 2022 report. And the World Economic Forum anticipates that AI will lead to the loss of 75 million jobs by 2025. The key concern with AI in the workplace is the risk of job displacement. And this is because employers consider machines as more efficient than human workers. And the most vulnerable sectors here are the ones with automatable tasks, such as manufacturing, customer service, and transportation sectors. For example, in manufacturing, AI and chatbots are taking over human jobs like assembly and quality checks. We have similar situation in customer service where chatbots are assuming roles traditionally done by people, like answering questions and processing orders, or reducing the need for human customer service representatives. This trend towards automation enhances company efficiency, that's certain, but it reduces employment opportunities in the affected industries, as I have previously mentioned. The second viewpoint holds that AI is a job enhancer and creator. As I mentioned under schedule optimization and data analysis for decision-making, AI is also seen to enhance human capabilities in administrative and managerial roles. It is also generating demand for new skills in management. The 2022 World Economic Forum report, as I mentioned, further indicates that by 2025, half of all tasks will be automated, and this will be a significant rise from the current 29%. 75% of companies are planning to implement AI systems, according to the report, and half of this number expect this technology to foster job growth, to lead to the introduction of new jobs. In spite of the fears of job loss, the report indicates that AI will lead to a net gain of 58 million jobs globally by creating 133 million new jobs while replacing 75 million. And this indicates a significant shift in the job market, with certain industries facing more displacement than others. For example, AI is expected to displace jobs in manufacturing, whereas it could boost employment in sectors like healthcare and education. There are new jobs booming in areas such as data analysis, machine learning, and other areas. And these new jobs require people who can work with AI, people who can manage AI, and make sure it is doing its job, as the previous presenters have indicated. For instance, project management is evolving with AI, and it's creating the need for project managers who are skillful in utilizing AI for resource optimization and task automation. Also, AI-driven customer relationship management is opening new roles for managers who are skillful at using AI to analyze customer data and improve service strategies. Hospitals that use AI for patient data analysis are also looking for AI system managers to oversee system operations, to ensure updates are applied and that data privacy is also maintained. So, as you can tell, while AI is considered a job displacer, it is simultaneously paving the way for many new jobs. And so, as the one who just, as Betty mentioned, there's no cause for alarm. We don't have to be worried. Now, the continuation of the story is skill adaptation. Put differently, I would say the key to growing alongside the AI-driven management job market is adaptation. And here are some strategies for effective adaptation. I have 3 strategies here. Strategy 1 is AI literacy. We need hands-on experience with AI tools. We need to experiment with AI software tools, as some have already said. For example, you can use a simple AI tool for data analysis to understand how it turns data into actionable insights. You have to consult with and learn from AI experts. That's the next point, action. Some of the best ways to learn is through mentorship and consultancy. And strategy 2 is lifelong learning. You have to engage in continuous education. Take online courses that offer specialized programs in AI for businesses. For example, a manager can take a course on AI applications in decision-making to enhance his choices. Again, we can participate in workshops and seminars because they offer networking opportunities with other professionals who may be going through similar challenges. And strategy 3 is focus on inimitable skills, the skills of the future, as we heard from the previous speaker. We need to develop human skills that cannot be replicated by machines. Examples of such skills are creative problem solving, emotional intelligence, we have ethical decision making. These human skills, when they are combined with AI know-how, are what employers and the management job market require. And so to end it, I want to say, in spite of the challenges, especially around job displacement, the overall outlook is positive. It's not negative. The goal is to utilize AI as a tool that complements human skills, not one that replaces human skills. And if we can focus on areas where human insight and creativity cannot be copied or replicated, and then learn to work alongside AI, we can go through the looming challenges and take advantage of the numerous opportunities around us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for the points given to us. AI literacy is required, which is in line with what Betty shared with us. We need to learn how to be smart, and also the skills has come in again. I'm just going to share with you from the perspective of finance what I've noticed. So what I've noticed is that I don't know whether it's because of COVID, human beings, we have the pleasure to be impatient a little bit, and we want to get results immediately. In finance, people want higher returns all the time. So everyone is looking at ways and means to select the possible securities or investment that will help them to beat the market. In finance, when we say to beat the market, how can I be able to obtain information that contains both historical, public information, and also private information? AI is able to help us to obtain historical information and also public information, but it's not able to help us to obtain private information. So from finance perspective, though there is a fear that analysts are going to lose their job, I beg to differ, because AI can only give you, in finance, we call it semi-strong, efficient market hypothesis. That is an information that is only focusing on historical data, because they can use their algorithm and machine learning to get past data and do their analysis and give you trends and patterns. But to be able to beat the market, which we call strong information, you need private information. AI cannot give you the private information. So those who are interested in pursuing finance, don't be afraid. AI will help you to do all the analysis, give you the interpretation and everything. But to be able to beat the market, to earn returns, which is greater than the market, one requires private information, and analysts are going to be needed all the time. So don't be afraid. Just that we need to understand, as have been mentioned by previous speakers, how the AI is used in obtaining both historical information. So optimization purposes. Now, when we are teaching finance, it's just not only focusing on the formulas, but we need to introduce the students. How do we implement the data set, running the data to obtain that, and also look at the interpretations given you, the output given to you by AI. Does it really make sense? Does it follow the norm that we all know from the books? Then, as we said, critical thinking will come in. So the human aspect is very, very important in finance. So for me as a finance professor, I believe that it's going to enhance our job. It's going to help us to be able to get information analyzed very fast. And then if we have that impatience to be able to get results, AI is going to help us. So if my boss needs something, I just use the AI to get the information I need. It is going to give me some kind of interpretation, but I need to use critical thinking, the human part, to make sure that it makes sense. So this is what finance people currently, that's what we are doing. Finance people are no more spending a lot of time in the analysis part, but we are rather looking at the critical thinking and snooping out for private information to be able to beat the market. So that is what is happening in the finance industry. So we should not be afraid. Let me go back to my panelists. So from all that we have said, it means that AI has, if I gauge your points, and from Armon's perspective, we shouldn't stand in front of the fire because it will burn us. How do we teach our students? And to Betty, for someone who's in industry, what kind of students are you expecting to come out from what the points you gave us? So each member can share with us within 2 minutes. How should we prepare our students?
Well, I would say that if I were to hire someone, so first of all, I will be looking if the person has the required skills in their area. So let's say I need someone to run my website, or someone to design something for me, or someone to come in as a operating officer of my business. So I'll be looking for are the basic skills there, and are they using AI? But I will be also looking for someone who's a creative thinker, because this is what is happening with AI. AI is regurgitating what is already there. Okay. And it has learned everything on the web from written text. It has learned everything from YouTube. Everything from YouTube, all the videos have been turned into text, and AI has learned that. And it almost is running out of stuff to learn. And this just came out this morning. I was reading that the AI models are running out of things to learn from, because they've read everything, and maybe they may even start making data, and they call that synthetic data. And that is the scary part when you start heading that way. But what will be missing eventually are the creative parts. So if you are a writer, I will say keep writing, keep digging down in your creativity and in your soul to produce great and beautiful things. Don't just limit yourself to what you can do with AI, but you still need, I will still hire somebody who can think critically, somebody who can come out with solutions out of the box, somebody who can create beautiful ads that have never existed, instead of just going to the AI and regurgitating something that has been there already. So these are the types of people I'll be looking for my business.
Thank you very much.
Let me add something to that. I think I think we're a little bit not very clear what type of AI we're working with. What I've been hearing is we're working with what we call weak AI. Generative AI is part of that weak AI. It's not really the heavy duty AI that what I am involved in.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, Midjourney, and a lot of these other AIs that's open to the public. Normally, these models are considered under that type of AI called weak AI. Now, there's another whole slew of AI that we haven't even touched. And a lot of these are being built because of necessity. a good example is Salesforce. Somebody said mentioned Salesforce. Salesforce here in the United States is a startup company out of Colorado. I work with them a lot. I mean, I'm talking about implementing it in different various organizations that are using it as a CRM and or customer relationship management system. They are now beginning to build their own machine learning based upon data provided them by the customers. These are unique data sets by customers, not necessarily, it's not for general public. So if you are another client with a client number, blah, 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 you cannot access another client number's data set. So why are they doing this? The biggest answer is the lack of workforce. About 2 years ago, one of Salesforce executives got in touch with me and said, "Hey, we're looking for 12 PhDs in data science. We can't find it here in the United States." And I said, "Well, good luck. I don't know any who specialize in data science." So what we're trying to do now in technology is trying to replace these very high tiers of skill set using some sort of expert system, trying to record what they would do in that place. Now, again, a lot of the AI that we've used is very open public. ChatGPT 3.5, it's great and all. And I agree with Betty and I agree with Carmelita. You got to watch what it writes and what you ask for. But we now start getting to ChatGPT 4 with DALL-E, and you start getting into Jasper, you start getting into a lot of content creation. Now we're talking about business. It's accurate. It's very accurate. It's very accurate in resourcing and sourcing. Yes, it comes with a price. Jasper especially comes with a price. We use Jasper a lot when we're actually doing a lot of web content creation. Nobody writes anything about the web copies anymore. Nobody does that. A lot of the web copies, especially brand new products that are coming in, are looking already based on target market models that have been developed by a marketing team to write specific type of web copies based on customer segmentation. And a lot of that is all AI, custom-made AI. None of this is public. The reason why they're doing it, companies are doing it and they're investing in it. Two reasons. Number one, the lack of skill. Number two is that competition. And any form of technology, and I don't pride myself in this, but I have caused massive job displacements in the workforce, in the industry. Companies hire me because they want automation. Once you hear the word automation, a few thousand people are going to get laid off. Technology is my bread and butter. And when we get in, it's about how do we automate something? How do we change something? Not because there are people in the workforce. No. There's some top tier skills that are lacking. Now, how does academia meet those skills? Maybe we're too late in some areas, because a good example would be cybersecurity. Cybersecurity right now, one company that I'm consulting right now, we just laid off close to 65 IT people. Are they going to be replaced? Absolutely not. Why? Somebody would ask me, well, I plugged in with analytics, plugged in with AI, plugged in with an alert system, plugged in with that, plugged in with insurance, plugged in with all of this. Managed by two people, an IT director and an assistant director. That's about it. All the other small people are all gone. Then you pair that with an outsourcing model. AI will select the best outsourcing agent that you're going to be working with based upon your company profile. Now, a lot of this is not on the public use. A lot of this is based on specific type of company uses. I mean, a lot, like I said, even in the gaming industry where I come from, we deploy AI on bad guys, on bad guys in Call of Duty to be, understand the way you're playing so that you have a better, more interactive gameplay. So that's how they sell more games. The same way with business today. I mean, my colleagues over here says about management. There is something. I shouldn't say to be scared and fearful about AI, but there needs to be some level of fear in a sense, and to say, this thing is happening. What we're exposed is this chat gpt. It's way beyond chat gpt where we are right now. And my exposure to the industry with AI is kind of scary. But and I feel that technology is leading towards we are just like the welder back in the day, the automotive industry, where we introduced automated welding machines. What we made is highly skilled welders, basically, few years of experience and master welders as a button pushers. So we are going to that point. The reason why technology, you have to understand what technology does. Technology is it's a tool that makes everything level. It levels the playing field for everybody. So whether you're technologically inept or technologically skilled, the goal of technology is to make everything simple. Yes, but with that, there's a new skill set of developers, a new skill set of programmers and computer specialists, but it will be smaller. So
Thank you. Yeah. So if I can also take from Prof. Peter, how should we prepare our students from what
Yes,
you've mentioned to go into the
yes.
job market? With what
From my
Armand shared with us, ChatGPT is just the surface.
Yes, from within my context here, I would say that we need to enhance AI literacy by integrating AI into our curriculum. We will also have to show our students real examples of businesses that are using AI. And then we also have to teach our students the human skills that AI cannot copy. For example, I mentioned emotional intelligence. You have mentioned critical thinking, creative problem solving. Students will have to be taught the importance of coming up with new ideas and thinking about the right and wrong ways of using AI in businesses. And then we can also train our students to have a mindset of continuous learning and adaptation. And then we will have to provide opportunities for our students to work on real business projects that involve AI. We can do this through internships and partnerships with other companies, because the more hands-on experience they get, the better prepared they will be to go out and work. And then finally, for their final projects, for their theses or dissertations, we will have to, in our schools, we will have to encourage our students to choose topics that involve using AI to solve management problems. And I believe these will ensure that students are prepared for AI-driven job markets.
Thank you very much. Your last point is scary. In academia, the issue of plagiarism, the issue of the machine writing it for us. Probably we may have to come up with policy. I quote Amon, are we going to stand in front of the fire, or we have to go behind? Just to ask Dr. Troy to help us. There are some questions that are interesting coming in on your presentation. First one is on which AI is better to replace audit work. Then also there is a question on, can AI affect accountants' work? Can it compute accounting practice questions? How would AI improve audit quality? So I'm sure these are coming out from your presentation.
Well, I'll mention a couple of things here. Which AI tool? As I mentioned when I was talking earlier, the audit firms are developing their own AI tools. So how you use an AI tool, we can use ChatGPT-3 or ChatGPT-4, or even I've been using lately Claude 3. And I find that, you're learning how to do the communications, because it's not just I put in a prompt, I get an answer, because it's like almost communicating. I tell it, well, what else what do I want you to do next? How do I want you to improve this? And so learning how to structure prompts, etc., I believe can work in any of these generative AI tools. But as for what AI tool is better placed to enhance audit work, the audit firms are actually developing their own AI tools, and there's not any particular one. Now, how does AI improve audit quality? Audits have changed. Back when I did auditing, they came up with a random sample of invoices or checks or transactions that you would examine. If something looked funny, then you would increase the audit process or expand, I should say, the audit process. Now, with AI tools, you can have the system actually examine every single transaction. This becomes possible where it wasn't possible before because it would make it so cost prohibitive. So now we actually can reduce the risk of an audit because the fact that these systems will pull out the ones that out the transactions or out the events, whatever it is, in order to determine, well, which ones are the ones that we need to examine further. So that's how one of the ways that we can see that AI can improve audit quality and lower audit risk.
So I'll address a question on using AI to analyze patients' data. I'm sure this is coming from a health professional. So if you ask me, this is the easiest way for AI to do. If you keep your data in any format, you upload it and you give it an instruction and it will do it for you. It's going to be able to give you with graphical information, visualization that will help you in making your decision. So yes, AI is well used and can be used in that format. We just gone over our time by 8 minutes. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for joining us today for us to have a discussion on how AI is impacting on our jobs, whether it's going to replace our jobs or it's going to make it better. From the discussion we have had so far, we have been made aware that it comes with I'll put a little bit of challenges, but the positives are more. All that we need is just going to quote from our presenters one by one. So from Armand, you mentioned that we should not stand in front of the fire. We should be behind it and learn. So from Betty is saying that we need to learn how to be smart and also get the skills. Professor Peter mentioned that it's important to have AI literacy incorporated in our way of doing things, especially in our education. And from Dr. Troy, she also mentioned that critical thinking and moral aspect of AI implementation is very, very important. I have also added that if you really want to beat the market, AI cannot do that. It still requires some human aspect. So we have to focus on the critical thinking. Thank you very much for joining us today. I want to thank our panelists also. I'm sure we'll come back to you. You see our flyers again, inviting you to join us for another discussion. Thank you.